All right. Let me see if I get some people in here. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Epstein. We're going to talk about Mom Donnie. We're going to talk about the drug lord that Trump just pardoned. We're going to talk about Mike Johnson. We're going to talk about Pete Hegseth. Hopefully, we'll see where it goes. Anything politics related. See if this show goes better than the last one. No reason to believe it will, but got to give it a shot. Jesus Christ. $13. Sheesh. Who's here? One person, hit the like button. Who is it? Didn't want to do that, did I? Nope. Oh. All right. One person, nobody in the chat. Hope it doesn't take long tonight. I'm exhausted. Four people. Hit the like button on the way in, guys. Please tell me if you think all Trump supporters are brainwashed. Manifest Destiny 2025. Liberals have TDS. Tremendous Dick Syndrome? MAGA people have TDS too. It's called Trump Devotion Syndrome. You guys are obsessed. Manifest Destiny. Why are you obsessed with Donald Trump? Tell me why. What's your favorite Trump policy, for example? And don't say borders, immigrants, or trans people. What's your favorite Trump policy? I am curious. 8 people, guys, please hit the like button on the way in and tell me if you think all Trump supporters are brainwashed, because I do. Look at this. Manifest Destiny 2025. You're obsessed with Trump. You talk about him every live. So in other words, a channel that I've pretty much devoted to talking about Trump and only Trump. I talk about him every live. You mean on this channel, in which the purpose is to just talk about Trump every live stream? That's all I do. What should I be doing, considering the whole point of these live streams is to talk about Donald Trump? Should I not be talking about Donald Trump? Wouldn't that be counterproductive? I think it would be. That's what they call Trump derangement syndrome. No, Manifest Destiny. Trump derangement syndrome is when you're the type of person that will follow a pathological liar blindly, go to all his rallies, wear all his merch, believe everything he says, even though he's lying to you 99% of the time, and worship him like a god. That's derangement syndrome. I am a YouTube content creator, and my content is anti-Trump. So I make money off of this. I make a living off of it. So that's why I do it. When I'm with my wife, I'm thinking about my wife. When I'm with my kids, I'm thinking about them. When I'm driving, I'm thinking about the road. Well, first you have to start with the brain. You can't wash what you don't have. Good point, Wendy Wilson. And if you're new, welcome. And please hit the like button, guys, please. You're putting the devil up your nose. I am 6.5 years clean and sober. So Dude, you never attended a rally for your candidate? Fuck no, Gary. Hell no. Never in a million fucking years would I go out of my way to go watch a politician speak. No fucking way. No. Unless there was like, say there was like Kamala had some dope ass concerts in the beginning of her rallies. I might go to see the celebrity or the act. But no. No. And I would never wear the merch, a shirt, a hat, none of that stuff. Nope. You should probably be trying to figure out why the Democrats are doing so poorly and fix it. I already know, and they're not doing poorly. There was they did great last night, even though the Republican won. There was a 13% shift towards the left. They swept the elections on November 4th. They're obviously going to kick the shit out of the Republicans in the midterms, and that's why Trump is trying to get more seats and stuff and gerrymandering done in red states and all that shit. And I'll tell you why their approval ratings are in the toilet, which, by the way, you should check out Trump's approval ratings and tell me how well they're doing, because he's right on par with the Democrats right now. Now, here's why Democrats' approval ratings are so low. I know you think it's because the whole country just hates the Democrats. No. A large part of why the Democrats' approval ratings are so low is because of us, Democrats. See, here's a difference, one of the many differences between us and MAGA. Now, Trump, the inflation rate is up, unemployment is up, groceries are up, utilities are up, gas is less, but barely, same with eggs. Okay, jobs numbers, the November jobs report, this motherfucker actually lost 32,000 jobs in November, unheard of. And this is the fourth time in 6 months. Okay. He's fucking everything up. There's farmers are going out of business because of his tariffs. There's been already this year 259 more farmers that went bankrupt than last year. Okay. But Trump has an 87% approval rate amongst Republicans. Now, why is that? I'll tell you why. You guys cannot, what's up, Miss Can't Be Wrong, cannot and will not ever say that he's wrong. That's why if you get polled, you're just going to say, yeah, great job, man. Great, straight A's. We're not the same. When Democrats are doing shit we don't like, we don't give them good approval ratings. We don't approve of their job. No. When Hakeem Jeffries is a pussy and Chuck Schumer is a pussy and they're not doing anything to fight for the American people, we don't approve of them. Okay. We don't follow them blindly like you guys follow Trump. You guys, most of you have no idea what Trump is doing right now. You have no idea of any of his policies. You have no idea of any of the stuff I mentioned a little while ago. You just know he's your guy, and that's all that matters. Well, I'm not a big fan of Republicans, but there are Republicans I would vote for if they ran for president. It's mainly Trump, and you got to understand that has nothing to do with his I can't say it has nothing to do with his presidency, but I've hated him since I was a little boy, just like most New Yorkers that grew up in the 80s and 90s and shit like that. We've always known him to be a scumbag, always been a bad guy, always, so spoiler, all partisans are brainwashed. Not true. Like I just said, if you were to ask me something Biden did wrong, I would tell you. Now, if I ask a MAGA person something Trump did wrong, it'll be crickets. Not a single person will answer. You are nothing but a lie. How about a liar? Trump has a record of achievements far beyond any other president. Like what? List them off for me, bro. I'll wait. What a delusional host. Whatever you say, Sphinx. Guys, hit the like and subscribe. It's extremely important. They're all APAC cucks. I'll give you that much, Lauren, definitely. The hell you say? The guys will vote for people who want to murder children, or you guys will vote for people that want to murder children. No, not at all. No, if you're talking about being pro-life, that's not, or pro-choice. I'm sorry, that's not supporting the murder of children. MAGA is brainwashed the same way I was brainwashed growing up. Growing up Catholic. I'm sorry. All cults begin with the requirement that you don't question and obey always. Always. You suffer from TDS. No, I don't, except for tremendous dick syndrome. That I suffer from. I would vote for Liz Cheney. I might too, honestly. How did Trump hurt you? How did Trump hurt me? Donald Trump's a bad guy. You ever just not like a guy because he's a bad guy? Donald Trump is a bad guy. If you lived in New York back then, he was in the tabloids all the time, and never for anything good. He never did anything good to help the city or nothing. No, he fucking was a slumlord. He was literally known for throwing old women out in the street. You know, he was a failed businessman. He cheated on every wife. He was always in the tabloids and the newspapers for having affairs. It was ridiculous. You know, he's just known as a lowlife in New York. He always was. Who got everything from his daddy, by the way. I'm not a Trump cult member, but I still like him better than Kamala. The Dems lost because of their trash candidate, Kamala Harris. I don't believe so. I think Richard, the most of the country was uneducated about Kamala. Like a lot of you guys, you don't know anything. You'll say stuff like she had no policies. Meanwhile, she had dozens more than Trump. You'll say things like she couldn't form a complete sentence. Meanwhile, she's 1,000 times more well-spoken than him. It's just that you guys don't know anything about her, so you just say she's trash. Meanwhile, we'd be in a lot better situation right now if we had President Harris instead of President Trump. My state has a Republican governor. He's done great things for our state, but he's not a MAGA supporter. True Republicans support the Constitution. Very true. I would vote for Mitt Romney, even though I'm a progressive. I wouldn't vote for him. Dude, you have got to be living under a rock. Russ Martin, I would assume it's probably the other way around. It's probably you living under a rock. But try me. Tell me how that is. Why do you say that? So why do you dislike Trump? What you have against him? Okay, I'll say it again. He's a bad guy. Same reason I don't like pedophiles. They're bad people. Same reason I don't like Nazis. They're bad people. And Trump happens to be both of those, by the way. Trump stated qualified immunity for police is stranger now than ever. He stated qualified immunity for police is stranger now than. What does that mean? Do you mean he's all for qualified immunity, which is a horrible thing? I don't know. Hey, my buddy, Marianne Reynolds, how are you? MAGA blames the Democrats for everything, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. Even when it's directly Trump's fault, somehow still it's Biden's fault or something. Good to see you, Marianne. You put a smile on my face when you show up in the chat. Brokered eight peace plans stopped wars. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You could simply search it and read about it. You'll find out that that's all bullshit that he just says. Tell me what wars he's stopped, that he's personally responsible for stopping. Go ahead. I'll wait. I hate him just as a person, right, Marianne? Marianne, will you tell them, is it not true that growing up in New York, back then, or living in New York, whatever age you were, it doesn't matter, in the 80s and 90s and shit, people just knew him to be a scumbag? Isn't that true, Marianne? You're full of shit. It's YOU''RE. Well, Joe Biden was always sniffing people, but he wasn't. When you look that up, what you'll find out is that all started because of a video where he was supposedly sniffing a baby. But if you watch the original video, there's no sniffing sound. It was digitally altered to make it look that way. So even that's bullshit. Trump has done more for this country in 10 months than the last two Democrats. Okay, could you name some of those things? Because no, he hasn't. It's sad to see hosts like this. They are so engrossed in their echo chambers. They just refuse to think for themselves. I feel sorry for guys like this. No. That's how we feel about you, and for good reason. You don't have minds of your own. That's why I could ask you things about Trump right now, things he's done lately, and you will not admit they were wrong, even though they were clearly wrong. Give you an example. You Trump guys. Donald Trump just pardoned a drug lord, the former president of Honduras, who trafficked 500 tons of cocaine into this country over 20 years and is quoted saying something along the lines of, I'm going to shove the drugs up the noses of those gringos, meaning Americans. Okay? He just pardoned that guy. Full unconditional pardon. Now, you got to understand, I got a lot of comments to go through. So in order for me to understand your answer when I get to it, just put right or wrong. Trump supporters, those are the ones I'm most concerned with. Because we know it's wrong. I don't need Democrats to tell me it's wrong. We know it's wrong. And I know that they know it's wrong. So just say right or wrong. Was that wrong for him to do? Trump promised to release the Epstein files. That's why he won. Non-historical or historical non-voters voted. Yes, and he didn't release the Epstein files. Brokered peace in the Middle East. He did not, and was nominated 4 times for Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, because he insisted on it, bro. Those people didn't just nominate him because they thought he deserved it. World leaders like Netanyahu, they just want favor from him. You know what I mean? So they nominate him as a way to kiss his ass. You know what I mean? He's not being taken seriously when it comes to that. Jesus. Always cheated on his 3 wives and his employees and never paid his workers who spent a lot of money on supplies and construction, etc. 100%. Yes, absolutely. He's just not a good person. No. My parents were telling me about him when I was a kid. You know, everybody in New York just knew about him. He's a bad guy. You know what I mean? Bad guy. Yeah, whatever you say, John Cole. Build up your military. Or built up our military. Trump? Kinda. He's done more authoritarian power grabs, that is. Yeah. Just tax cuts for the rich, only passed 2 resolutions. Yeah, tell me what his accomplishments are since there's such a long list. Lowered inflation from the catastrophe of the Democrat ran last 4 years. No, he didn't, Gary. See, that's what I mean. You guys are so fucking stupid that under Biden, you just believed inflation was high. And for a while it was. But now Trump's in office. You got people like Fox News telling you it's low, so you believe it. Do you know that inflation right now is higher than it was this time last year under Biden? Do you know that? Trump has raised inflation, not lowered it. Yeah, you can look it up right now. Don't take my word for it. Look it up anywhere you want. Inflation is up. Unemployment is up. Look at the jobs numbers for November we just got today. Oh my God, the ADP jobs numbers. This fucking guy got negative 32,000 jobs. He lost 32,000 jobs. Wall Street projected it to be 40,000, a 40,000 job gain, which still would not be anything to brag about. But he actually lost 32,000 jobs. That's fascinating. I would almost think there's no president that could pull that off. But there he is. I adore our host because he tells the truth and has proof what a son of a bitch Trump is. Thank you, Mimi. Wrong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Marianne, absolutely wrong. I want to see if the Trump supporters will admit it. Why is Trump systematically wrong about everything? Kind of creepy. You mean actually wrong, not just that we're saying he's wrong, because he's a bad guy, so he does bad shit. And look, I'm looking for the Trump supporters to say he was wrong to pardon that guy. The only person that said wrong so far is Marianne, and she does not like him. Nobel committee head said absolutely not possible. There you go. Supported Trump until the Epstein files. LOL, Trump's burnt. I give you a lot of credit for that, Toby Vendors, because a lot of people, they just stuck with him, even though he lied to them time and time again about the Epstein files, and he's still really covering them up. So I give you credit for that. All Trump supporters come on here accusing you and Democrats of only listening to lies, but they listen to the biggest liar of all time and the biggest lying news networks. Yeah, absolutely. Tennessee behind him. What does that mean? Dump is a straight up POS. He is. Trump supporters are the best. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I used to love your mob channel. You have to change it up. It's embarrassing to watch you on it now. Icefish, this is the mob channel, you stupid ass. And I don't know who you are. I've never seen you. I've never heard of you, and I couldn't care less. Is this fish? I'm assuming ice fish. I don't know, but it's when in that context, it's YOUR. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's embarrassing for me now, right? When I get, literally like 10 times the views a day. Shit, 20, 30, 40 times the views every day. Yeah, I'm humiliated. I support Trump because the Democrats have broken the norms of the USA. Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize for nothing, and he droned an American citizen and never was held accountable for that crime. Not really true, but Monica, you support Trump because the Democrats have broken the norms. What would those be? Because you know that Trump has broken every norm imaginable, right? You know that. Yeah. For example, he's a 34-time felon, twice impeached, and civilly liable for sexual assault. Not to mention his cabinet is filled with the dopiest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life who can't do their jobs right. You got fucking Pete Whiskey Leaks, fucking Hegseth, and Tom Homan and fucking Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, a bunch of fuck ups. He's broken so many norms I can't even tell you. Yeah. He's the only president to call fellow Democrats the enemy of the people, or fellow Americans, I'm sorry, the enemy of the people. Broken a lot of norms. Trump don't get paid as president. He don't want bullshit, Mike. It's called the Emoluments Clause. You can look it up, and you'll see why he doesn't take his check. Okay, he doesn't take his check so he can take money from everywhere else. Right? He's made $3.8 billion since January 20th of 2025. 40% of his net worth has been accumulated in 10 months. So he gets more than paid. He's finally the rich prick he always pretended to be. I voted for Trump, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything that he does. He closed the border. He released the files. No, he didn't. Peace deal. No. Helped negotiate several impending wars. A couple, but he didn't play that much of a big role in it. Doge was horrible. All right, so let me go down your list. He didn't release the files. He did close the border. Didn't release the files. The files are not out yet. As far as a peace deal, most of those are bullshit. I'm telling you, you could look it up. He just says that. It's not true. And helped negotiate several impending wars, many of which were never even really going to be a war. It's just, he just took two countries and said, boom, I just stopped a war between the two of them. You can look it up. It's all bullshit. I read all about it on this show before to everybody. It's not true. And Doge, Elon Musk said he was going to find $100 billion or something in waste. He found $2 billion, and the overall cost of Doge cost us money. Okay. In other words, it cost us more money than they found in waste. So sorry. My designer knows firsthand how cheap and corrupt Trump is. Is that right? It was over 9% under Biden. Yeah, Gary Henderson. After COVID, when there was global inflation, the whole entire world, every country in the world experienced inflation. It got up to 9.1%, I believe, which would have happened no matter who was in office. No matter who was in office, because, again, it happened to the whole world. Although we did recover quickest. Our economy recovered quicker than any country in the world, and we were the fucking envy. Our economy was the envy of the whole fucking world. So that's true. Everything you're saying is a lie. All right, call me out one thing at a time, Marine. Go ahead. Doge cost $54 billion, only saved $2.4 billion. You just lost $50 billion. Yeah, that's what a great thing Doge was. Yeah, because Trump's cabinet has men that think that they're women yet are in charge of health. See what I mean? That's all you guys think about is trans stuff. No, instead, he has a fucking 12-year heroin addict who swims in toxic waste and has caused measles outbreaks in different parts of the world that have killed children. No, we'd rather have him in charge of health than a guy who just happens to be trans but is doing fine, or was, right? I know. It's all identity politics and culture wars with you guys. I know. You don't care what kind of job the director of health and human services does or anything, as long as they are someone you like. I know all about it. I know how you guys are. He stopped the war with U.S. and Canada. Shut up, best Frank. You just say the opposite and say it's not true because you are being fed data and Trump hating news out. No. I do not watch news outlets. The only things I watch that are related to politics are 3 or 4 independent journalists, and I fact check everything they say before I repeat it. You guys project. That's what you do with Fox. That's not what we do. Even if he did call us veterans losers, I don't know, because he's treated me a lot better than Biden did. Really? So you weren't a fan of the PACT Act under Biden? And you have no problem with the fact that Trump fired tens of thousands of veterans from the VA and cut funding for the VA? Is that how he treated you better? No, you're wrong. What do you mean? Are you fucking retarded? Trump he stands on stage all the time. He did it during his campaign and after he was elected. And he says the Democrats are the enemy of the people and I hate my enemies. He said it. Shut up. Biden never said that, neither did Clinton. What talking point, Gary? Be more specific. Marianne Reynolds, whoever said Trump is love, oh my God, you must have dementia, because if you say he is loved, then I feel sorry for you, and not one of you realize how ridiculous you all sound. You're all part of a cult. Yeah, it's true, Marianne. It's true. It's true. It's unbelievable. Just David S. Cameron. Just a friendly suggestion by a current events topic every day, not just Trump sucks, followed by repetitive talking points. For example, the boat strikes and Whiskey Pete throwing Admiral under the bus. I start the shows about politics. They're always bashing Trump. That's why the title is always something either bashing him or his supporters. If you don't like it, David, don't watch. I know who you are. You're a lifelong troll. Okay. I don't give a fuck about your advice. And we could talk about anything you guys bring up. In the beginning of this show, I said we could talk about Pete Hegseth, we could talk about Tom Homan, we could talk about Donald Trump, we could talk about the boat strikes, we could talk about the jobs report for November. But you don't listen, right? Because you didn't hear me talk about the jobs reports where we lost 32,000 jobs. And this is the fourth time in a row he's been, or the fourth time in 6 months he's been in the negative that he's lost jobs. See, David, you don't like me, so you don't like my channel, so you're going to talk shit. You can go fuck yourself, to be honest. And if David Cameron says one more ignorant ass thing, block the shit out of him. I don't like that motherfucker for years now. So what about the files? I'm concerned about our economy. I couldn't care less about the files. Exactly. You couldn't care less about the largest, most prolific pedophile ring in American history, aside from the Catholic Church, the most wealthy elites in the world raping children. You don't care. You're worried about the economy. Well, I'll tell you about the economy. When Trump left office the first time, the economy was destroyed. We had a 6.6% unemployment rate. Couldn't even buy food, toilet paper, bottled water, paper towels. Fucked up all the supply chains. Made a deal with Russia and Saudi Arabia to stop producing oil. So by the time Biden took office, everybody was driving again. There was no oil. There was too much demand, not enough supply, so prices went up. Biden brought down his inflation rate from his unemployment rate from 6.6% to 3.4%, which is a 54-year low. Biden did things like the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, the American Rescue Plan, things that were great for the country. This right now, the inflation rate is higher than it was under Biden a year ago. Unemployment is up. Groceries are up. Utilities are up. Gas prices are down, but barely. So the economy's shit, and you're still not concerned about the files. So you don't care about the richest people in the world, one of which might just be the president of the United States, raping children. You don't care. Well, it tells me all I need to know about you. And he's saving money. Who's saving money and how? My benefits haven't. I don't know what you're talking about. Democrats are literally called the party of projection for a reason. Yeah, nobody calls them that. What does MAGA call them that? Nobody calls them that. Guys, it's all projection from you. You don't even, well, you know what? I can't even say it's projection because projection insinuates that you guys know it's true about yourselves, but you project it onto us. You don't know. You guys are the least informed voters in the entire country. You are the least educated people in the entire country. You don't know much. You just come in here and you repeat Fox News talking points. And anytime I tell you something you haven't heard before, in your opinion, it has to be bullshit because one, it doesn't fit your narrative. And two, Fox News never told you that information. You don't realize that they hide a lot of this shit from you. Although earlier today, they did have to acknowledge the abysmal jobs numbers. They did. They didn't even try to sugarcoat it or nothing. Let me see. Wasn't happening in the U.S. until Biden killed jobs, spent over $9 trillion on his infrastructure and green initiatives, and we didn't have that money. Biden sold off our strategic reserve crude oil. No. First of all, we were producing more oil under Biden than at any time in American history. You could check that out for yourself. Biden didn't kill jobs, you fucking dope. Gary, When Trump was in office in April of 2020, the unemployment rate was 14%. When he left office, it was 6.6. Joe Biden brought it down to 3.4. And he created 16.6 million jobs, which is 4 times more than the last 4 Republican presidents combined. He was creating, on average, after the revisions, 180,000 jobs a month. He didn't kill the jobs, dickhead. He brought them back. Trump is killing the jobs now. Are you going to keep ignoring that the jobs reports numbers, not my opinion, the fact that came out today that even Fox News reported on is that Donald Trump just lost jobs for the 4th time in 6 months while Biden was creating on average 180,000 a month? The fucking guy lost 32,000 jobs. You know what a fuck up you have to be to do that? He could have taken office after Biden and done nothing, and the economy would have been better off. Dude, you're not saying anything factual. Everything you're saying is just your opinion. LOL, this shit can't be made up. Happy to troll. All you got to do, I tell you guys this every time. Just tell me what it is I'm lying about, and I will prove it to you. I do it on every show. Not one thing I've said is a lie or an opinion. Nothing. Everything I said is well researched over years, and I know what I'm talking about. And any of you can call in and debate me anytime you want. Hey, Chris, let's not forget the Tylenol causes. I don't even want to say because I'll get in trouble with YouTube. Yeah, the dipshit. Yeah. Even though autism started being diagnosed years before Tylenol was even invented. But good one, Mary. They believe it. Trump is the best president this country has had since Ronald Reagan. You see what you guys, you just throw shit out there and say shit, but you don't tell me how or what makes him so good. He got rid of stupid jobs. Oh, Trump got rid of stupid jobs. Oh, which jobs would those be that are stupid jobs? As far as I know, Americans need jobs, and then when they get jobs, they get paychecks. So they wouldn't be stupid, they would be jobs. But how are the ones Trump got rid of stupid again? Go ahead and tell me. I'll wait. Yeah, of course. And they're not even that low. I've watched your show several times, and never once have you proved anything, showing a propaganda source isn't proof of anything except your lack of education. Scott Kibler, call in right now and let's debate. But you won't do that, will you? I gave you the chance before. You're too scared. No, I prove everything I say. The problem is, no matter how I prove it, you'll just say every source is bullshit. So it's not that I'm not proving it. It's just that you're brainwashed and you refuse to believe anything that doesn't fit your narrative. They said can cause. Trump said it causes the shit. He said it causes the shit. Yep, he did lose jobs, and even with the cuts, he's still spending more money at this time, more money than at this same time last year. Yes, he is. Guys, please hit the like and subscribe. It's very, very important. I have a goal for how many subscribers I need today, and it isn't even that much. You guys can help me hit it. So if you're MAGA and you don't like what I'm saying, I don't expect you to do shit. But the good people in here, the smart people who are on my side, please hit the like button. Very, very important. What did I just get? People say there's more oil production under Biden, and then there was under. Wait, what? I think it meant to say then there was under Trump. But if that's the case, why are our energy prices going up so high? This is something many of us. Why do you think Trump works so hard? Okay, so I don't know. I was sent this. I don't know what the point of it is. This is something many of us have been trying for decades to get in people's heads. The only way we can have high oil production in the U.S. is when oil prices are high because our production costs are so high. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's why I was sent it. Thank you. Why do you think Trump worked so hard in his last year to get foreign oil producers to cut production? Because the oil price had collapsed due to a fall off of demand. Yeah, that's what caused the cheap gas prices that moron Trump supporters talk about, like it was some kind of genius Trump leadership that made it. When in reality, it was due to the lockdowns and the resulting collapse in demand that would go on to lead double-digit unemployment spikes we had in the wake of it. How about that? How about that? You need someone like Trump that is on the inside of all this craziness to be able to operate in this world. I don't like him no more than anybody else. Yeah, no, we don't. Trump is the greatest fart since diarrhea. Useless government jobs. Sure. Why don't you go check the numbers? See how many of them were government jobs. I believe that the Inflation Reduction Act alone created 700,000 manufacturing jobs. Let me guess, they're not good jobs. And by the way, with the jobs numbers report today that we got, we also found out that wages are down, not up. So he's losing jobs and wages aren't up. 11,000 manufacturing jobs lost in July. Those stupid jobs. Yeah. Ain't that some shit? Those stupid manufacturing jobs. Yeah. I love watching the brainwashed like this guy calling others brainwashed. I'm not brainwashed by any stretch of the imagination. Guys, there's no politician I follow blindly like you guys do with Trump. I couldn't give two shits about Biden, Harris, Obama. I vote for who I think is best for the job. That's it. I don't wear their merch. I don't go to their rallies. I don't watch them on TV every time they're on TV. I don't you have yard signs. I don't have silly flags, with their names on them. It's just not the way we do things. I remember when somebody said, no, they weren't filled. They were lost. Look up the Trey, you're such an idiot. What was I going to say now? I forget. Fuck it. Oh, I'll ask again. I'm going to ask you guys again. I'm going to go to the bottom. These are the only comments I'm going to respond to for a minute. But guys, first, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It's very, very important. And if you don't mind, plus it's a good way to get your comment read, hit that super chat button. I'd appreciate it very, very much. So guys, I'm going to ask you again. So a few days ago, Trump pardoned a drug lord, the former president of Honduras, who trafficked 500 tons of cocaine into this country over 20 years. Okay. There was a trial last year. He was sentenced to 45 years. Trump just pardoned him. Now, is that right? Or is that wrong? Was he right or was he wrong? Bless your, oh God, I hate when you weirdos say that. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. You're so gay. Yeah. I don't think she would have been a better president. Guys, anybody would have been a better president. Matthew, you're an idiot. You probably still would have been a better president. Any Democrat, any Republican, any cartoon character, any zoo animal, they would have been a better president than Donald Trump. Stands at a record low, according to a new CNN poll conducted by SSRS. You know who else is Trump's? Is it like at an all-time low? Or who else is what? Approval rating is at an all-time low? Trump's. Go check it out. And again, I'll tell you what I told people in the beginning. Democrats' approval is low because of other Democrats. We don't worship. Trump has 87% approval ratings with the Republicans. See that because you're all brainwashed. You don't even know when he's wrong. You won't admit when he's wrong. Us, we hate the Democrat. Fucking Hakeem Jeffries sucks. Chuck Schumer sucks. They're a bunch of pussies. Democrats don't fight for American people like they should. So we give them bad approval ratings. And Trump's approval ratings with Republicans would be in the toilet too if Republicans weren't brainwashed. But that's why his support amongst other groups, independents, liberals, the Latinos, everything, horrible. He's got like a 36 or 38% approval rating right now. They all say auto pin, unknown trader. I realized this a while ago. They think auto pen is actually auto pin. It's the weirdest thing ever. They don't understand the whole point of it is to write things. So it's an auto pen. They all say auto pin. It's so fucked up. They don't even know what it is. And they're talking about somebody using it. All right. Wages are up 3.8% last year. You just make shit up. No, wages are down as of right now. Okay, so if they were up under Trump at one point, they're down from there. Do you understand? Wages are down. And he lost jobs. 4 times in 6 months. 4 months out of 6 months, he lost jobs instead of gaining them. He's got the worst jobs numbers since, I think, the Great Recession. You could look it up. It's true. 100% true. Guys, is it right or wrong that he pardoned that guy? Guys, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. I got a goal. I need you guys to help me out. Hold on. MAGA is a celebration of ignorance. It is. My sister is pregnant. I'm going to be a dad. I show speed, gang for life. Okay. Nobody could say, not one Trump supporter has answered. Is it wrong that he pardoned that guy? Look, Biden pardoned pedophile. Is it wrong that he pardoned that guy? They got to say Biden. Is it wrong that Trump pardoned the former president of Honduras? How many of you will actually answer? Or do you refuse to say he's done anything wrong? Trump trade deals, peace deals, shut down border. Tell me which trade deals and peace deals. Tell me which peace deals Trump is responsible for. Unbelievable. They probably say pin number also. Yeah, who knows? This guy's so brainwashed, he would eat shit sandwiches if Trump said eating poop was bad. Yeah, that's one of the dumbest things I ever heard. And no, I wouldn't. So you just said that Trump is at an all-time low, but then somebody proves you wrong and you just say they're brainwashed. No. I said he's around it. Look, watch. He's got a 63% unfavorable rating or some shit like that. What are Trump's approval ratings as of today? Who proved me wrong? What are you even talking about? Who proved me wrong? Trump's approval rating is below 34, which is exactly his felony count. It's not below that. No, nobody proved me wrong. Nobody even said anything about it. As of early December 2025, Donald Trump's job approval rating is approximately 36%, with disapproval at 60%. According to Gallup, The Economist reports slightly differ in numbers, with 38% approval and 57% disapproval, and a net approval rating of 19%. Both sources indicate a recent decline in his approval ratings. So you want to tell me that again, how I was wrong, stupid ass? But you're right, though. I don't think he's at an all-time low, because I think his all-time low is 34%, which is lower than Biden's all-time low. Look, nobody will. Yeah, I live in Pennsylvania, fuckface. Okay, so I'll ask again. Was it wrong that Donald Trump pardoned this guy? Go ahead, show me you're not brainwashed. Was it wrong? I'm going to pay attention to the comments, and I'm only going to respond to the answers to that question right now. Go ahead. No, it wasn't wrong that he pardoned that guy. Why? Another no, another no. Oh, you say it was wrong? Good. Another guy says no. That's the same guy again saying no. But like 3 or 4 people said no. Okay, bro, spam the chat one more time, Matthew. You're getting fucking. Matter of fact, fuck off. Nope. Wow. Okay, tell me how it's not wrong that Donald Trump pardoned the former president of Honduras. Tell me what makes it okay. Go ahead. I'll wait. Because it's lawful for him to issue pardons. That's why I didn't say, was it unlawful? I said, was it wrong? Who cares? Everybody should. The guy trafficked 500 tons of cocaine into our country. Hell no, it wasn't wrong. And this guy says it was wrong. There you go. Thorne says wrong. But you guys I don't even think are Trump supporters. Azerbaijan, Armenia. Yeah, I'll read that. I'll read about that to you in a second. Did Trump broker a peace deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia?
According to en.wikipedia.org, on the 8th of August 2025, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, with the mediation of United States President Donald Trump, initialed an agreement and signed a joint declaration emphasizing the need to continue efforts toward the signing and final ratification of the agreement.
So there was no peace deal, no official peace deal whatsoever. They just agreed to keep negotiating a peace deal. So see, Democrats are made up of people with their own agendas, and the Democrats exploit all of them for votes. Prove me wrong. You're just wrong. That's all. Trump's approval among reps is like 75. I think it's 87%. America is filled with stupid people, without a doubt. It's a discretionary act. Oh, yeah? How's that? Hell no, it's not wrong. So you guys, you don't think it's wrong that he pardoned the guy? Proved that it wasn't bullshit charges. Okay, he was tried in a court of law in the United States of America. He was proven to be guilty with tons of fucking evidence, and he was sentenced to 45 years. So see what I mean? See what I mean? If Biden pardoned this guy, you guys would be up in arms talking about fentanyl and overdose deaths and all this horse shit. But because it's Trump, it's not wrong. It's not wrong that he pardoned the guy. This is why we laugh at you guys. This is why you guys are a laughing stock. The whole world laughs at you because you can't even say that pardoning a drug lord was a bad idea. You can't even say that. It's amazing. And when he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell, a proven pedo, somebody who admitted to being a pedo, you'll say that wasn't wrong either. How come Biden pardoned so many pedophiles? He didn't. He simply didn't. Name them for me. What, they pardoned drug lords? Who? Name them. Who were they? I told you who Trump pardoned. Name them for me. Yeah, both fingers, no doubt. Guys, hit the like and subscribe. It's very, very important. Says who? The media. That's a joke. No, it's a fact. Trump pardoned the guy. Jesus Christ. Trump even talked about it yesterday before he fell asleep in his cabinet meeting, for Christ's sake. Hit the like and subscribe. Very important. How many more do I need? Oh, man. 10 more. Let's say 10 more, guys. Hit the subscribe button, especially if you're on the good guys' side. Stallone supports Trump. Yeah, Stallone's stupid. I'm still a fan of the Rocky movies, though. No one is talking about Biden's auto pen and opening the border wide up for any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Leslie, that's because the auto pen thing is a fucking distraction. Let me explain to you. That's not what I asked, one Perry one. And you still didn't tell me how it's a discretionary act. Okay. But yeah, he can pardon whoever he wants. And again, I never challenged that. I said, is it wrong? Is it wrong to have pardoned the guy? That's what I asked you. And you keep answering a question I didn't ask. So the auto pen thing, guys, let me tell you. So Trump, he wants to prosecute a lot of the people that Biden pardoned. So he was from the beginning trying to figure out a way to discredit those pardons so he could undo them, okay, which he's not going to be able to. All right, so he said that Biden signed all those pardons. Somebody signed them for Biden with an auto pen. Okay, now, he just says it. Biden has never come out and said, I had no idea who I was pardoning. Somebody was doing it for me. There's no proof that he had no idea who he was pardoning. But since you're so interested in auto pens, Donald Trump said on 60 Minutes about a month ago that, and he said it, you can go look up the clip right now on YouTube. He said, when asked about CZ, the CEO of Binance, being pardoned a few days before, he said, you want to know the truth? I have no idea who the guy is. I don't know anything about it. What does that mean? That means that somebody used an auto pen to pardon this guy. And then when asked yesterday about the drug lord being pardoned, his first answer was, I don't know anything about it. Then he said, well, some people in Honduras told me it'd be a good idea to pardon him. That's how he decides pardons. Some people in Honduras told him it would be a good idea to. It's the concept of a peace deal, yes. Let me see. Trump loves us. Yeah, right. Trump said it was, he said it was Azerbaijan and Albania. Fucking idiot. It was a political move. Okay, so was it right or wrong? I'll keep asking the same question. Was it right or wrong? You ask what did Trump gain from pardoning someone? He gets paid, and it was so wrong. Of course, there's money in this for him, one way or another. There's something he's going to get out of this. It's already pretty much been exposed as a quid pro quo type of thing. So that's Donald Trump. That's what he does. He basically takes bribes. What does he have to gain from pardoning that guy? Well, let me show you. What does Trump have to gain from pardoning the former president of Honduras? There's something specific he's trying to do there, and I keep forgetting. We talked about it last night, though. Trump publicly defended Hernandez by saying many Hondurans believed he was set up by the previous U.S. administration without providing evidence. By framing the case this way, Trump reinforces his own narrative that he and other figures are victims of politically motivated prosecutions by U.S. prosecutors. Political influence in Honduras. The pardon was announced shortly before a Honduran presidential election. Trump publicly endorsed a conservative candidate, Nasri Esfura, for the presidency of Honduras and implied U.S. support was contingent on this one. Okay, or on his win. The pardon and the related endorsement were seen as an attempt to influence the political outcome in a country crucial to U.S. interests in Central America. The decision is in line with Trump's pattern of using his clemency power for political allies and those who appeal to him personally. Hernandez's letter to Trump, delivered by political advisor Roger Stone, reportedly included flattery and a shared sense of being a victim of political persecution, which is an approach that has worked with Trump in the past. Challenging current U.S. drug policy. The pardon created a sharp contrast with the Trump administration's aggressive counter-narcotics push in the Caribbean, where U.S. forces have conducted lethal maritime strikes on alleged drug smuggling vessels. Critics argue the pardon of a convicted cocaine kingpin undermines the stated goal of stopping the flow of drugs into the U.S. and the administration's claims about fighting narco-terrorists in Venezuela. So there you go. So you guys like that he blew up those ships, even though there is zero evidence that there was any drugs on those boats. Zero evidence. Because, you don't want overdoses and stuff in America. But he pardoned a guy that trafficked in 500 tons of cocaine, and you don't mind that. You can't say it was wrong for him to do that. It influences the Honduran election, yes. But there's something else, too. There's another thing also. Dude, you're in love with pedos. No. You are. Trump is a pedo. Epstein is a pedo. Elon is on the Epstein list. I mean, the Republicans, Matt Gaetz was a pedo. I mean, for fuck's sake, Linda McMahon was involved in a huge child sex scandal with the WWE. Pete Hegseth has been accused of sexual assault. I mean, are you kidding me? Donald Trump was accused of raping a 13-year-old girl with Jeffrey Epstein. So you might want to think that comment through before you post that again. Guys, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important, especially if you're one of the good guys. Oh, shit. Few more, guys. Few more. Come through for me on this one. And hit the like button. Very important. Clinton wore a dress. No, there was a picture of Clinton on Epstein's wall of him wearing a dress. It doesn't mean Clinton wore a dress. And by the way, J.D. Vance actually wore a dress. So you forget that? His emotions are in control. Zealot, 410-941-9850. Call me up. Let's see what an idiot I am. The new government is trying to end an automated business off the coast of Honduras. His tech backers want the old president and plan to back him in a new run for president. There you go. That's what we were talking about last night. Yeah. Trump supporters are all gay. I mean, according to Grindr, most of them are. Was that before, after, or while Trump was blowing him? I'm not sure. A dress. Oh no, the horror. Yeah, I know, right? Clinton wearing a dress is definitely equivalent to Trump raping a 13-year-old. Yeah. No. No, but I'll be honest, there's no proof Clinton was on the island. There was also no proof Trump was on the island. But he is on the flight logs 8 times. And his trips aren't, accounted for by Secret Service and stuff like Bill Clinton's are. They were the Secret Service was with Bill Clinton every time he was on Epstein's plane. Accused and convicted are 2 different words. Learn them. Wow, man. But you guys will declare Biden a pedophile because you think he sniffed a kid's hair. You see why you're disingenuous and you're full of shit? Because you'll just assume things or believe internet lies about Joe Biden and have him convicted as a full-blown pedo. But Trump is actually accused in detail in a lawsuit of graping a 13-year-old. And you're like, so what? Just an accusation. Yeah, because you guys don't care about pedos. You don't care about rapists. You're all animals. You're all predators. And that's why you sweat this guy the way you do. Look at this. Look at this guy, Mike. Want to talk about pedophiles? Let's get into it. Clinton was at Epstein Island well over 100 times, according to victims and Epstein's pilot. He also brought Hillary and Chelsea when he won. See what I'm saying? Bro, Mike, you might want to look it up and come back to me with the credible source, because there is no evidence that Clinton was ever at the island. Even Trump says when he lies about it 28 times, you boosted it up to 100. And you said, according to Epstein's pilot, not true. And he also brought Hillary and Chelsea, not true. So go Google it right now. Say, is there any proof Bill Clinton was at Epstein Island? Come back and tell us what it says. So Brian, let's just say that's true. Was that consensual, or did he do it by force, like the way Epstein and Trump brutally raped a 13-year-old? Just out of curiosity. Are you on Grindr? Is that how you know? No, there's a website that tracks it because Republicans always crash Grindr. It's kind of a well-known thing. I know Fox News doesn't tell you about it. But when the RNC was in wherever the fuck it was last year, Grindr crashed in that area. Why? Because of all the Republicans that are gay Republicans that were looking for dudes. Okay. Charlie Kirk's memorial, Grindr crashed in that city or area. You can go look it up right now. You'll see. There's a whole website that tracks it. What about Biden? What about Biden? You always divert. No, bro. I don't read all the comments. It would be an impossibility, Keith. What evil? There's evil in the Democratic Party. Sure. It's just not on the same level as the Republican Party. It's not. And if I'm wrong, come on here and debate me. 410-941-9850. Clinton is on the flight log 17 times. No, I think it's 28 times. And again, guys, I need you to use your brains. I need you. Look at this guy, this idiot. I need you to use your brains. He can't even spell the word. Okay. So, Bill Clinton, before he was ever on Epstein's plane, had been president of the United States for 8 years. Okay. Everywhere he went, Secret Service was with him. If you can find me a credible source that Bill Clinton was on the island, I'll shut this show right now and you can have my channel. Go get me a credible source. Guys, if you can say it, there's got to be a source, right? Watch, I'll look it up for you, but you won't care what my shit says. Is there any proof Bill Clinton was ever on Epstein Island? There's no concrete proof, such as flight logs, travel documentation, or verified eyewitness accounts that Bill Clinton was ever on Epstein Island. Here is the summary of the evidence and conflicting claims. Denials. Both Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein denied that Clinton ever visited the island, also known as Little St. James. In a 2011 email, Epstein wrote, Clinton was never, ever there. Never. Ghislaine Maxwell also told the Department of Justice that Clinton never visited the island. Secret Service records. A Freedom of Information Act request to the U.S. Secret Service found no evidence or documentation, such as flight logs, shift logs, or travel vouchers, that Clinton, who is a protectee, ever visited the island. Flight logs. Publicly released flight records from Epstein's private jets do not list any flights with Clinton going to the private island. The logs do show Clinton traveled on Epstein's plane for humanitarian work for the Clinton Foundation to locations like Africa and Asia on multiple occasions in the early 2000s after he left office, but not on the island, okay, or not to the island. Accuser claims. One prominent Epstein accuser, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, reportedly claimed in a 2011 interview that she had met Clinton on the island. However, she later stated in a 2016 deposition, when she was under oath, that she had not literally witnessed him arrive by helicopter as initially reported, and the details may have been taken out of context by the tabloid newspaper. She has never accused Clinton of any sexual wrongdoing. Political rhetoric. What did I say? The claim that Clinton visited the island has been frequently repeated by political figures like Donald Trump, but no proof has been provided to substantiate these claims. In conclusion, all available official records and the testimonies of key figures involved contradict the claim that Bill Clinton visited Epstein's private island. So, guys, this is what I talk about on these shows when I say you're brainwashed and stuff. Now, me, if I hear anything like that, I'm checking it out. Give you an example. First time I heard somebody say Bill Clinton was on the island or Donald Trump was on the island, I didn't just like an asshole get on YouTube or on social media and start repeating it. I simply researched it and I found out, oh, there's no proof Donald Trump was on the island. Okay. He was on the flight logs 8 times, but there's no proof he was on the island. That's why I don't say it. Now, it would fit my narrative if I came on here and just lied and said he was on the island, but I don't do that. Plus, I'm smart enough to know better. You guys are brainwashed to the point where if you hear another MAGA asshole or some douchebag you work with or a guy at the bar or you see a Facebook post that says Clinton was on the island, you repeat it without proof. How many of you douchebags in this chat have come in here and said Clinton was on the island without fucking proof? See? A lot of you. Now I just proved to you there is no proof. And I asked you to go get a credible source. And I guarantee you none of you have. It's on camera. Really? Okay, can you tell me where to find the video? Go ahead. Kamala lost to a friggin' garbage truck. I'm assuming the garbage truck is Trump. Yeah, it's true, Lauren and Hall. Yeah. The difference between me and you is when Biden won, I did not pray against him. I wanted Biden to do great. Me and you are whatever. Yeah, you probably to this day try to claim he stole the election. You know what I mean? Jim Thomas, you know why you should have wanted Biden to do great? Because Biden wanted to do good for the country. Biden has a heart. He's a good man. I don't want Donald Trump to do well because if Donald Trump does well, we are all fucked. Do you understand? His intentions are not good. He is pure evil. Why would I want somebody with bad intentions who is pure evil to do well? No, I want him to fail at his agenda so the country does well. Okay? God forbid he succeeds. There's no proof Trump was on the island. I just said that. There's no proof Clinton was on the island. George Bush, I don't think so. I'll check, but I don't think. The source that he wasn't on the island? Wikipedia, ABC News, Good Morning America, ABC News, the Palm Beach Post, DW.com, whatever that is, USA Today, Newsweek. That's some of them. But I know they're all not good. So that's why I said, because you won't trust any of those sources. So go. Plus, the Secret Service, I believe, testified to it under oath that they were with Bill Clinton on every leg of every trip with Jeffrey Epstein. But go get the credible source that said he was. That's all. I just gave you a bunch of sources you're going to say are bullshit. So it's only fair that you go get the credible source that he was on the jet or on the island. If there is any evidence of Clinton on the island, Hillary will have it deleted. Evidence won't appear until the Clintons, one deceased, and it will no longer matter. You guys are conspiracy theory minded as any fucktard could be. Hillary could never get rid of all the evidence on her own. It's impossible. No, Emily, I will not say Trump was on the island without proof. I just won't do it. Were they likely both on the island? I don't know. No, Trump maybe. Bill Clinton couldn't have been, Emily. Everywhere he went, he had the Secret Service with him. Are you telling me that Bill Clinton got on a plane, flew to an island full of pedophiles, and got the Secret Service to turn turn away, not look at him while he goes back in a room and molests a child? I mean, are you serious? Turn their heads. That's what I was trying to say. You for real? You'd have to be crazy to believe that. Don't insult the trash. He's a good man. Joe Biden as a person is a good man. Yeah, absolutely. How could you say otherwise? What made him a bad man? If the liberal network didn't exist, Trump would have a 90% approval rating. No, there's no liberal networks. Even they're in favor of Trump, please. Every major news network is owned by a MAGA billionaire. That's a fact. Trump would not have a 90% approval rating. And by the way, that's a dumb thing to say, Brian, because, what you're saying is if only Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax existed, he'd have a 90% approval rating. You might actually be right, because then all of us would be brainwashed instead of just you dummies. Trump is a bad man. 100% he is. Biden was pure evil. Tell me how in his personal life he was a bad person. Tell me, even in his presidency, how is he a bad man? Tell me. I want to know. Even Fox sees it, yeah. Trump about Ghislaine Maxwell. I wish her well, yep. Clinton riding in Epstein's plane for humanitarian reasons, really, because Epstein was known as a great humanitarian. Yeah, it had to do with the Clinton Foundation, and it's a fact that was backed up by Secret Service agents. You just heard there was a FOIA request done, okay? So yeah, I guess the Secret Service was lying too, right? The country never did worse than under sleepy Joe Biden. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You ever hear of like the Great Depression or the Great Recession? Either of those things? And by the way, it was only bad under Biden because of COVID. He fixed everything. You guys don't listen to me. Google it right now and see where inflation is today as opposed to where it was a year ago under Joe Biden. Check the unemployment rate too. See what the unemployment rate was 1 year ago today and see what it is today. Check if grocery prices are up from this time last year. Check if utilities are up from this time last year. Check if jobs numbers are down from this time last year and see what you find. Yeah, Brian, have you seen Trump falling asleep at every fucking Oval Office meeting and cabinet meeting and everything else? Have you seen this when he was asked the same question as clear as day in a silent room and he answered it this way?
Okay, please, in the back.
Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News Channel. Mr. President, is there an expected time frame that detainees will spend here, days, weeks, months? And does that have anything to do with the immigration judges you just spoke about being trained and staffed here?
When you say, what was the first part of your question?
Is there a specific time frame you expect the detainees to spend here? Days, weeks, months?
In Florida?
Yes, here at Alligator Alcatraz.
I'm going to spend a lot. Look, this is my home state. I love it. I love your government. I love all the people around. These are all friends of mine. They know them very well. I mean, I'm not surprised that they do so well. They're great people. Ron has been a friend of mine for a long time. I feel very comfortable in the state. I'll spend a lot of time here. I want to, for 4 years, I've got to be in Washington, and I'm okay with it because I love the White House. I even fix up the little Oval Office. I make it, it's like a diamond. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It wasn't maintained properly, I will tell you that. But even when it wasn't, it was still the Oval Office, so it meant a lot. But I'll spend as much time as I can here. My vacation is generally here because it's convenient. I live in Palm Beach. It's my home. And I have a very nice little place, nice little cottage to stay at, right? But we have a lot of fun, and I'm a big contributor to Florida, pay a lot of tax. And a lot of people move from New York, and I don't know what New York is going to do. A lot of people moved to Florida from New York, and it was for a lot of reasons, but one of them was taxes. The taxes are so high in New York, they're leaving. I don't know what New York's going to do about that, because some of the biggest wealthiest people and some of the people that pay the most taxes of any people anywhere in the world, for that matter. They're moving to Florida and other places. So we're going to have to help some of these states out, I think. But thank you very much. I'll be here as much as I can.
Yeah, the question was, how long will the illegal detainees be held here in Florida, like Alligator Alcatraz? She asked it twice, and that was the answer. So now, guys, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's play a game. Since you guys say Biden still does not know what planet he is on, even though this is based on a couple of clips Fox News showed you where he was out of it. Let's do this. I'm going to tell you a Donald Trump story. And then you know what? Don't take my word for it. I'm going to put up a Donald Trump story, and I want you guys to tell me if this is a lie or if this is his delusion talking. Like, is he, cognitively declining to the point where, he doesn't know, he doesn't know fact from fiction, basically. Yeah, let's see. Is this a lie or is this his delusion? I want you to listen to this. Listen carefully, guys. And while you're at it, hit the like and subscribe. Biden never thought an electric boat would electrocute you or that windmills kill whales or cause cancer, by the way. Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. Tell me if this is a lie or if it's just him losing his mind.
Although my uncle was
Answer it with one word, lie or delusion.
at MIT, one of the great professors. Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever. He was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. But Kaczynski, I said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And then he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody, but it didn't work out too well for him.
So on Tuesday, the president told a very detailed story about his uncle, noted scientist John Trump, and Theodore Kaczynski, the late Unabomber. He said that Dr. Trump taught Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski was not identified as the Unabomber until 1996, 11 years after John Trump passed away. It would have been impossible for John Trump to have ever discussed the Unabomber with the president. So what was he talking about? And I have one follow-up.
Andrew, with so many issues going on in the world.
Yeah. Of course, she deflects from it, refuses to answer. But somebody said, where's the lie? Some dopey motherfucker said, where's the lie? Well, 2 things. He said his uncle taught the Unabomber at MIT. The Unabomber never, ever, ever attended MIT. Then he said that him and his uncle, oh, you want to hear the whole thing? Okay, well, I'll show you, because there's nothing to hear. But okay, since you think I'm pulling a fast one on you, watch. And by the way, I'll say again, he never went to MIT. And by the time he was identified as the Unabomber, Trump's uncle had been dead for 12 years. Okay? 11 or 12 years. So it would have been impossible for them to have those conversations. You understand? So is it a lie or is he delusional?
That's a smart man. Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever. He was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. But Kaczynski, I said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody. But
now it's impossible they had those conversations, and the Unabomber never attended MIT.
It didn't work out too well for him.
So on Tuesday, the president told a very detailed story about his uncle, noted scientist John Trump, and Theodore Kaczynski, the late Unabomber. He said that Dr. Trump taught Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski was not identified as the Unabomber until 1996, 11 years after John Trump passed away. It would have been impossible for John Trump to have ever discussed the Unabomber with the president. So what was he talking about? And I have one follow-up.
Andrew, with so many issues going on in the world, I'm a little bit surprised you would ask such a question, although I'm not sometimes coming from you, I will say, but I'm willing to give you an answer. Nevertheless, the president's uncle did, in fact, teach at MIT. He was a very intelligent professor. The president's very proud of his family. In fact, the president has a letter from his uncle on the MIT letterhead that sits in the Oval Office dining room. Maybe we'll let you see it sometime.
So her answer was his uncle did teach at MIT. That was never the question. The question was, how could he say he taught the Unabomber and that they had discussions about him when the Unabomber died 11 years after, his uncle died 11 years before the Unabomber, or Ted Kaczynski was identified as the Unabomber. So what do you guys say? Lie or delusion? I want to hear from Trump supporters. So Sabrina Merrick, $2. Thank you very much. Guys, don't be afraid to throw a super chat into the mix. If you want my Cash App, I'll gladly give you that too. Who cares? Exactly. When it's something about Biden, you can't stop talking about it. When it's something about Trump, who cares? Epstein files, who cares? Lying about Ted Kaczynski, who cares? Rambles off for a minute and a half and answers a question that wasn't even asked to him, who fucking cares? How about this? It's not. That's your opinion. Look up the numbers. It's not. Thanks for playing the whole clip. So you might have misspoke. I was talking about someone else. Now play the Biden clip talking about his uncle. I don't know of the clip, and we're talking about Trump. It doesn't matter. Do you understand? Even if I conceded and said Biden was batshit crazy, what does that have to do with the current president? If Biden was crazier than Trump, what does that have to do with the Trump presidency that's happening right now? And I'll look up a clip. I don't know a clip about his uncle, but I'll look it up. He never said it was Ted Kaczynski. The Unabomber was Ted Kaczynski. What do you mean? That was the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. So he didn't misspeak. That was not the first time he told that story. And you see how you guys give him the benefit of the doubt? If Biden says something crazy, it's because he's demented. If Trump says something crazy, he must have misspoke. This is like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan came on one day and he's telling his guest, did you hear Joe Biden? This guy's losing his mind. He said that there wasn't enough airports during the Revolutionary War. And then his producer jumped in. After Rogan was like, who could take this guy seriously? He's demented. His producer jumped in and said, no. Biden didn't say that. He was quoting Trump. Trump said that. And then Joe Rogan goes, oh, so he messed up. See how you guys are? You're all full of shit. That's why you're brainwashed. Lord Dabblethorn. He told that story on more than one occasion. He didn't. How do you mess up? How do you confuse the Unabomber with somebody else? How? In your clip, he said Kaczynski, never Ted Kaczynski. Wow. Did he say the Unabomber? Because there was only one Kaczynski that was the Unabomber. Where's punk Obama's real birth certificate? It's been released for probably 12 years now. It's out there. Yeah, everybody's seen it. There was never a fake birth certificate. Yeah. You believe these guys? They won't admit that he fucked up there, that he lied, or that he's delusional. Play any speech or interview of Biden. All right. Probably shouldn't ask me to do that, but I will. Oh, shit. I misspelled the fuck out of that. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. And turn on your notification bell so you get notifications when I go live.
Home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office, and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down, auto factories reopening, a new state-of-the-art battery factories being built to power those cars there at the same.
You want me to keep going? All right.
And America. I say to the American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America. That's you, the American people. It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is bright. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Is that enough? What were you looking for exactly? What'd you expect to see in that video? In your clip, he never said Unabomber or Ted. Keg Dog, you got to be crazy. Holy shit. Unbelievable. So let's do it one more time. Tell me who he was talking about. How about focusing how he's better than Biden? I can't focus on that because it's not true. His numbers are in the toilet compared to Biden's last year. All you got to do is look them up, or I can give them to you if you want. Here, let's listen again.
Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever, he was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart.
There's no such degree as nuclear. He had 2 degrees, electrical engineering, and what the fuck was the other one? I forget.
Man, Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. But Kaczynski, I said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody, but it didn't work out too well for him.
So on Tuesday, the president told a very detailed story about his uncle, noted scientist John Trump, and Theodore Kaczynski, the late Unabomber. He said that. So,
and what Kaczynski was he talking about exactly? And this guy just said to Caroline Levitt, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. And you know what Caroline Levitt didn't say? No, that's not who he was talking about. She refused to answer the question. So please, that's how brainwashed you are. That's how brainwashed you are. No, but I know that, Mike Ramey, but he didn't have a degree in that. And he didn't say nuclear engineering. He said nuclear, Mike. Come on, bro. He said nuclear. And he didn't have a degree in that. Watch. What were Dr. John Trump's degrees in? It just says electrical engineering. Let me see. Maybe there was only one. It says electrical engineering. Okay. I don't know. That's all I can find. Maybe he did have one in nuclear engineering, but he said nuclear. But that says electrical engineering. But let me see, just so, because I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. Did Dr. John Trump have a degree in nuclear engineering? No. Dr. John Trump did not have a degree in nuclear engineering. He was a highly respected electrical engineer and physicist. So what now, Mike? So not only did he not say nuclear engineering, he said nuclear, and it turns out he doesn't have a degree in nuclear engineering either. So you're going to try to say he was talking about a different Kaczynski, but Caroline Levitt didn't correct the reporter. Caroline Levitt just let the question be asked the way it was asked and didn't say anything. You guys are insane. You're so brainwashed that when I show you proof of something, you still say it's not proof, even when the words are coming out of Donald Trump's own mouth. Let me just see something. Hang on. Okay. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? How about this? Donald Trump's Truth Social post about 274 FBI agents, Joe Biden, January 6th. So on October 12th of this year, October 12th at 12:58 a.m., 12:38, I'm sorry, Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. The Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. If this is so, which it is, a lot of very good people will be owed big apologies. What a scam. Do something with what, 4 exclamation points? President DJT, do something, he said. Now, I want a MAGA person to tell me what's wrong with that post. The only thing we're saying is Trump never said the Unabomber. He was talking about the Unabomber. He said Kaczynski. Kaczynski was the Unabomber. And he never went to MIT. So it doesn't matter that you say he was talking about the Unabomber. It doesn't matter, you know? If I said the 47th president, is there a chance I was talking about Biden or am I talking about Trump? You see, it's called identifiers. He's probably lying, but he didn't say Unabomber. And you said someone was a dumbass for saying he didn't say Unabomber. So by your logic, you're the dumbass. No, he said Ted Kaczynski, you stupid ass. Ted Kaczynski was the Unabomber. He was. So what's wrong? What did he say in that Truth Social post that's wrong? Come on, MAGA, tell me. You want me to repeat it? Guys, hit the like and subscribe. It's very, very important. The Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. If this is so, which it is, a lot of very good people will be owed big apologies. What a scam. Do something, President DJT. No, that's not a fact. But don't move the goalpost. What's wrong with what he said right here? Keg Dog, you're an idiot. Yeah, he'd be talking about a different Kaczynski. Yeah, sure. Fucking douchebag. So there's only one person named Kaczynski. And again, that reporter said to Caroline Levitt, Trump said that his uncle taught Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Why didn't Caroline Levitt say, no, he was talking about a guy named Al Kaczynski? You know what I mean? He was curious about some random guy with the last name Kaczynski, what kind of student he was. You're so fucking retarded. All you guys are so fucking dumb. That's why we laugh at all of you constantly. They admitted it. The hearings, go back and listen. They admitted what? Biden wasn't president. Thank you. Donald Trump said Biden placed 274 FBI agents into the crowd on January 6th. But Biden wasn't the president. Trump was the president. So how did Biden do that? Now, is that a lie or is that a delusion? Tell me. Yeah, exactly. Is that a lie or is that a delusion? Oh, his threats to annex Canada. It's just another thing. Yeah. And he says he's going to bring, actually, he says he already brought drug prices down by 1,500%, which means whatever your prescription costs, now the drug company is going to pay you 15 times that to take their medicine. Both? Yeah. Both. Yep. It wasn't Pelosi. Pelosi didn't have the power to call or turn away the National Guard, or at least not to turn away the National Guard. This guy says that's bullshit. What's bullshit about it? Is that made up? That's not real. It's not a real post. Critical thinking is non-existent with Trump supporters. I know. Who cares? Both sides are trash. I care, and tens of millions of other people care. It's a lie. Maybe he meant a Biden appointee in the FBI or something. There couldn't have been a Biden appointee in the FBI because Biden wasn't president yet. But at least you said it's a lie. Dr. Trump did receive a medal for science, for medicine, and atomic physics from Reagan. Trump probably didn't know every degree he had. He also didn't know that Ted Kaczynski never went to MIT and that his uncle never taught him there. So, Mike, I know you're trying to cover up for Trump, but you're getting as bad as they are with this shit lately. Trump is clueless, yeah. Biden doesn't have to be president for his shadow organization. You see the mental gymnastics they do? You see? Now, if Biden said something like that, they'd say he's batshit crazy. Cut and dry case of dementia. But Trump, they're like, maybe he was talking about a different Kaczynski. Maybe it was Biden's shadow organization that somehow had power over the FBI while Trump was in office. That's why I blocked that guy. From now on, you guys, after I show you proof, if you keep insisting, this guy was literally saying maybe he was talking about another Kaczynski. What other Kaczynski would he be talking about? If you guys keep doing retarded shit like that, I'm just going to block you because you're too stupid to even be in the chat. Yeah, she did, and she did it. Who's she? The FBI agents arrived after the people had gathered on January 6th. Of course. Even in the article that you guys cite, or at least you don't even know about articles, Benny Johnson used to report that there was 274 FBI agents in the crowd. It clearly says in the article, this number includes FBI agents that responded after the riot started. Yeah, so there was FBI agents there because there was a riot there. Okay? From Daddy Bush all the way down to Biden, not one of these presidents have done anything for us. How about the PACT Act that helped, increase funding to the VA to treat veterans that were affected badly by burn pits and stuff like that, Afghanistan and shit? Was that anything? How about the American Rescue Plan, which gave us a total of what? Like, I don't even know. How much money did we get? A fucking lot. The $1,200 check, that was nothing. But the other one, I think, was, I don't want to say because I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot more than that. How about the Chips and Science Act that created jobs? How about the American Rescue Plan? I'm sorry, I said that one. The Inflation Reduction Act that created like 700,000 manufacturing jobs. How about the 16 million jobs Biden created in general? How about all that stuff? None of that was good. How about bringing down unemployment from 6.6, where Trump left it, to 3.4, which is the lowest in 54 years? I'll give you that, Miguel. I'll give you that. Yeah, no shit. Release the Waltz files. There's no such thing, but okay. Biden is rotting with cancer. It's a horrible thing. Does that give you pleasure, Julian? Alvarez? Name is Alvarez. He's a Trump supporter. Tells you everything you need to know. So play the clip of Biden talking about his uncle. Okay, but I'll play it. But how will that change the clip of Trump talking about his uncle? Just tell me that. If Biden says the most batshit crazy thing ever, how does that make Trump any less demented? Because I've already admitted Biden was out of it. He was pretty bad off towards the end there. But you see how I showed you that State of the Union speech after you thought any speech I pulled up, he would just sound like some madman? You know? You see how I did that? And then he was talking just fine. I could show you rallies where he was killing it. Some of the best speeches I ever heard. You guys watch Fox News and they show you things that are heavily edited. And they tell you, look how out of it Biden is. Now, the debate, he was out of it. Brains were leaking out his ears, no doubt. He also, was exhausted. He was on a multi-day trip where he was sick and everything else. But still, I'll admit that Biden was, probably had early stages of dementia. Of course, his neurological exams and shit said he didn't. But I forgot where I was going with that. Now let's pull this up. Fox News would show you things. Like there's a video where they showed Biden just staring off into space. If you see the full clip, which is also out there, he was watching skydivers. They made it look like he was just staring at nothing. There's another clip where he's giving hand gestures to people, and people say he shook a ghost's hand. There was people outside the camera shot. They edited that so you wouldn't see the people. So you get tricked easily. That's why you're MAGA. That's why you voted for Trump. You're not bright.
When I left Scranton today, I wanted to go to the War Memorial that has the names of all the Scrantonians who died in World War II etched into a granite wall, because I wanted to see where my Uncle Bosie Ambrose J. Finnegan, where his name was etched back when D-Day occurred. And on Sunday, the next day, my mother's 4 brothers all went down to the recruiting station and joined the military. Every one of them volunteered. And my uncle, they called him Ambrose Bosie, they called him Bosie. My Uncle Bosie was a hell of an athlete, they tell me, when he was a kid. And he became an Army Air Corps before the Air Force came along. He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over war zones. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea. But one of the things that as I was doing that today, I was reminded of what my opponent said in Paris not too long ago. They asked him to go visit American grave sites. He said no, he wouldn't do it because they were all suckers and losers. I'm not making that up. Staff who was with him acknowledged it today. Suckers and losers. That man doesn't deserve to have been the commander-in-chief for my son, my uncle.
All right, so what do you think of that? What should I comment on? What should I comment on? Trump also never said what? What did Trump never say, Lord Dabblethorn? Tell me what he never said. No, I don't think Pizzagate was a real thing. I'm not a lunatic. Because I got to tell you something. All he said is, there was a lot of cannibals there. Yes, cannibalism was practiced in New Guinea, most famously by the 4 people in the Highlands, where it was part of mortuary rituals. It was also reported among other groups like the Karawai people, though current practice among them is disputed due to their contact with outsiders. The 4 people practiced a ritualistic form of cannibalism as part of their funerary practices. They consumed the bodies of their relatives, which led to the spread of a prion disease called Kuru. So in other words, Biden said there was cannibals there, and what do you know? There was cannibals there. Biden looked at his watch impatiently during Memorial Day. Oh my God. What the fuck? Burn him at the stake. What the fuck are you? He looked at his watch impatiently. Trump also never said what? I'm waiting for you to tell me. Yes, precisely that thing. The restaurant at the epicenter of that bullshit was a place my friends' bands play at. So please what? Fuck off, hypocrites. Yeah, okay. My uncle wasn't eaten. The hunters gave him gifts. Well, he doesn't say, he never said his uncle was eaten by cannibals. I guess he assumed because his body was never found, but there was cannibals there. So you see the difference? Like, that's actually less crazy because Biden said there were cannibals there, and there were. Trump said his uncle taught the Unabomber, and he didn't. Lord Dabblethon never said military was suckers and losers. Well, if you decide that it would be better to believe Donald Trump, the world's most well-known pathological liar, if you decide you want to believe him over a 4-star general, then yeah, Trump never said it. But you saying he never said it would insinuate that you were there and you know for a fact he never said it. When in reality, you're just brainwashed. So you believe Donald Trump, a guy that lied 35 times during his cabinet meeting yesterday. You believe him over a 4-star general. I don't give a damn if you are bot convinced. Spell check your shit. Oh. Question: did anybody get Donald Trump's family enlist in the? Did anybody? What do you mean? In Trump's family enlist in the military? I don't think so. Dementia is a horrible disease. Have one friend only 5 years older than me, who is in a home and is now restrained because of panic attacks he has. He doesn't recognize anyone anymore. Horrible. Well, there's true crime and there's fake crime. There was no way of confirming and getting his body back. People in the meeting said he never said it. So you believe Trump and those people over a 4-star general. Hold on. Guys, hit the like and subscribe, please. It's very, very important. The reporting that Donald Trump called U.S. service members killed in war losers and suckers was first published in 2020 by the Atlantic magazine. Based on anonymous sources, these claims were later publicly confirmed by his a former White House chief of staff, retired 4-star Marine General John Kelly. According to 4 people with firsthand knowledge of the discussions, Trump said, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." In a separate conversation during the same trip, he allegedly referred to more than 1,800 Marines who died in battle at Belleau Wood or whatever that is as suckers for getting killed. Now, let me tell you why I believe that 100%. I base things on information I already have, okay? Donald Trump is known for shit like that. Donald Trump one time said he doesn't want to be seen with disabled vets because they were going to put some disabled vets with him for some event. He said, "I don't want to be seen with them. It looks weak." Okay? Trump is all about Trump, and everything is transactional. If there's not money or something in it for Trump, he don't want no parts of it. Okay? So Trump saying that makes perfect sense because Trump has this mentality that if you scared the shit out of me. If you sacrifice your life or your physical being, your health for the country, you're a sucker. That's the way Trump sees it. That's why he dodged the draft 7 times. You can't convince Trump voters. They know Trump mostly tells mostly lies. They just want to end freedom and democracy for white supremacy, tyranny, and Trump is doing it. I agree with you 100%. You did say that. I remember him saying it, Trump suckers and losers. If you look on YT, I'm sure you can find the clip. You did say that. I remember him saying it. I said, I'm confused, brother. Except that many more people than just the 4-star that were there said he never said it. And as you could see, there was many more people other than the 4-star general that said he did say it. But again, James Woodward, what you're saying is first of all, you're saying you think a 4-star general would lie about Trump when he was the chief of staff, okay, for Donald Trump. Well, after, whatever. Okay. The people that said that he didn't say it, who were they exactly? And let me ask you something. Did they work for Trump? Did Trump have any power or authority over them? Would it be in their better interest to say Trump never said that? Just out of curiosity. Because it's so funny that you guys don't believe 90% of all sources of information, but some people who are obviously, beholden to Trump said he didn't say it, and you believe them over 4 other people and a 4-star general. What's up, Michael Hensley? Good to see you. Let me show you something Trump did say. I'll tell you how he feels about our military. Let me show you something.
Public. The problem is the Republicans, not the Democrats. We know how the Democrats are going.
Not that. Let me find it. I hope I still have it on here. I probably don't. This is something. Oh, here we go. This is when Trump was asked about soldiers that got traumatic brain injury. Traumatic brain injury. Listen.
Do you believe that you should have been tougher on Iran after they had launched ballistic missiles in 2020 on U.S. forces in Iraq, leaving more than 100 U.S. soldiers injured?
So, first of all, injured. What does injured mean? Injured means you mean because they had a headache, because the bombs never hit the fort. So just so you understand, there was nobody ever tougher in Iraq.
Oof. The Pentagon says 109 U.S. troops were diagnosed with traumatic brain injuries. That after Iran, a missile barrage in 2020, after that barrage.
You'll say it's the source you don't believe, but of course that was Donald Trump saying it with his own words. So he's talking about people with traumatic brain injury, and he downplayed it as headaches. In other words, these guys are pussies. He said about people with PTSD before, I believe. He basically said that, they're weak, and it's like they're faking it, like they're really fine, No, he doesn't. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. He would sell his kids for the right price. Trump totally did say that shit. Yeah. Well, remember Trump saying it, not you. Hoobs Grove, I've been lost. I'm lost. I don't know what you're talking about. You said John McCain was a sucker loser because he got captured. I think he was injured. I said it, Hoobs Grove? What are you, fucking smoking crack? Trump said that. Why do you keep saying I said it? Are you losing your fucking marbles? It's crazy that every single time anyone says anything, it's a disgruntled employee, a spiteful ex, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's never Trump. Wake the fuck up. Oh, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, of course. They always believe Trump over everybody else, and it's always the other person's fault because they're this or that or that. I know. Let me see. On camera, he said he preferred soldiers that didn't get caught, referring to McCain. Yeah, he said he's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured. Yeah. So there you go. So you put all this information together. That's how you come to a conclusion. You take all the information you have about a person, and then you say, okay, with everything I've heard this guy say, is it more likely than not that he said our war heroes are suckers and losers? He basically said it to you about John McCain. So yeah, he said it. There's no question. Trump would pay to sleep with his own daughter. Yeah, no doubt. General Kelly only claimed Trump said that after he was fired. Sounds more like retaliation BS to me. No. It makes perfect sense because he wouldn't say that while he was employed by Donald Trump. When would you say it? You know what I mean? John Kelly, let's just say, even if he wanted to, gather all this shit, like the stuff Trump has said, so he could one day tell it to people, you might as well stay in your position, right? So what was he supposed to do? Just give up the job and be like, what do you mean he basically said? Yeah, SZ, basically, when he said that John McCain was a loser, or basically, there you go, there's the word. He said John McCain is a hero because he got captured. I like people that weren't captured. So in other words, John McCain is either weak or a sucker of some type or a loser because he got captured. I mean, what did you think he was insinuating when he said that? Did you? I didn't see. All good. Do what? Oh, you're talking about the Jane Creek. How many advanced MRIs does Trump need to have for his supporters to accept he's crazy? They'll never listen to them. I showed a clip of Trump talking about Ted Kaczynski. He said Kaczynski. My uncle taught Kaczynski. And there's a dipshit in here who fought with me for like 10 straight comments saying, well, he didn't say Ted Kaczynski. Yeah. He was talking about some random guy named Kaczynski. Yeah. All right, guys. I got to go. I love yous all. Not really all of you. If you're MAGA, I fucking despise you, except for a couple of people who I do like and love. And I just think they're slightly confused or something, just my opinion. I'm going to get going. And wait a minute. What? Hold on. See, now you're grasping, trying to make it fit what you want. LOL. And he was beefing with McCain when he said that to McCain. No, I'm not trying to make it fit. You don't understand. Listen to me closely. When I hear General Kelly say that Donald Trump said they're suckers and losers, I take all the other stuff I've heard Trump say and I come to a conclusion. So we saw the thing where he downplayed TBI, traumatic brain injury, in our soldiers, our vets. And he said, what do you mean? They had headaches because the bombs didn't even hit. They had headaches, you know? So there's one reason he's downplaying injuries that our military has received, our military members. Then you got the thing where he said John McCain is a hero because he got caught. Okay? I like guys that weren't caught. That's like him saying, what does that mean to you when he says, I like guys that weren't caught? What does that mean? John McCain got caught. I like guys that weren't caught. So in other words, regardless of how you take it, he's making fun of a guy for getting caught and becoming a POW, an American hero without a doubt. So when I take all that information, and then there's a bunch of other things too, the shit he said about PTSD, other comments he's made about our military, I put all that together. That's what it's called critical thinking. You put that together, you know, and you think, is it most likely or more likely than not that he said this, that he said they're suckers and losers? Of course. Not to mention, I also include the fact that the person who said it, one of 4 people who said it, is a 4-star general who I don't see lying, because what exactly did he get out of telling that story, General John Kelly? What did he get out of it? So it's called critical thinking. You take all kinds of information, you put it together, you think it over, and then you come to a conclusion based on evidence, you know? So, yeah, right. Well, Sphinx, call me right now, 410-941-9850. Let's see. Call me. I'll give you 2 minutes. 410-941-9850. Go ahead. The event at Arlington Cemetery, that's another thing. Yeah, he has no respect for veterans. So of course he'd call them suckers and losers. And the story about him not wanting disabled veterans on stage with him because he thought it made him look weak. So that means he thinks they look weak. You see, Donald Trump would never sacrifice anything for anyone. That's why he dodged the draft. So he thinks anybody who did is a sucker, a loser. That's the way he sees it. That's his worldview. You haven't done it now. Okay, I'm still waiting for you to call 410-941-9850. Is it likely is way different than a fact. And again, I've seen officers lie like hell. Yeah, well, I haven't. And I haven't seen a 4-star general lie like hell. But I've seen Donald Trump lie throughout his entire life. Throughout his entire life. He's Texas dad. I know you won't give in. I don't give a fuck. The guy is literally the most well-documented liar of any person in the history of the world. Do you understand that? In his first term, he told 30,000 verifiable lies and misleading statements. 30,000. That's over 60 a day. Okay. Yesterday at his cabinet meeting, he told 35 verifiable lies. In the debate with Joe Biden, he told 36 verifiable lies. So again, It's called critical thinking. Who's more likely to lie? This honorable man who sacrificed everything for his country, or Donald Trump, the guy who, again, would probably sell one of his kids for the right price? So anyway, oh, look, it's Finks is too scared to call in. What a fucking surprise. Bunch of pussies. All right, guys, see you next time. Fuck you, MAGA. Peace.